was thinking about my performance last night, and I'm getting way more comfortable with myself, just being up there and feeling like people don't understand me. I mean, I always feel that way anyway, no matter where I go. There's really no other option for me but to do stand-up comedy. Because I can tell that there are a lot of people, they want to be validated. I don't. I just want to be good, you know? Like, I want to be funny. I want it to be effective. That's all I care about. If people don't laugh at my jokes, it's because they're fucking dumb. I'm utterly convinced of this. One of my favorite jokes, people didn't laugh at, I guess because it was too offensive. I was talking about how women this was my last joke too. I was talking about how they don't even understand how their vaginas work. And that's why they develop toxic shock syndrome whenever they leave a tampon in for too long. Maybe I should have explained the joke better. But since women always think of themselves as victims, I mean, it's just fucking true. They make themselves victims because they don't even understand how their menstrual cycle works. They don't understand, hey, my tampon needs to be released. It's like you think I could do so much material on this one thing, on the fact that people think, don't worry, I got you, buddy, I'm gonna switch lanes for you. It's all for you. There you go. Now you can shut up. Okay. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is so easy to it's so easy to point out. And I don't know if anybody's actually ever pointed this shit out. The fact that women are always whining about their menstrual cycle, and yet they develop something like toxic shock syndrome because they don't take out their tampon in time. I mean, how funny is that? They think they're a victim so much so that they make themselves one. And people will probably get mad because they'll be like, you're making fun of actual victims. You're making fun of women that have actually died. Well, sometimes they don't die. Sometimes they lose a limb or something like that. That really sucks. You gotta live with that shit too. You gotta live with the fact that you're that fucking stupid that your claim to fame, still don't even know how it works. Yeah, man, it's so crazy to me that there's so much material with so many people in society that are just so stupid, and yet people will not do the material because they're so worried about being offensive. I did a bunch of offensive shit last night, and I was thinking about it right after I got off stage, and I was like, I don't think they liked any of that stuff. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you did it anyway. So that's good. I probably was telling like, blah, 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 blah. I get so excited when I talk about comedy. probably because I'm listening to this like dancey, suicidal music right now. But anyway, my joke that I think is so brilliant. I was talking about how women have uterus shock syndrome. That is so fucking funny for so many different reasons that very few people can understand. You know what? I know that Nick Fuentes would get that fucking joke, alright? I know that Nick Fuentes would get it. I know that anybody that watches his show would get it. I know Adam would get it. I know Lauren would get it. I know Kimberly would get it. Maybe that's what I should do. Anytime the joke doesn't work, I'm just gonna like make a list of people that would get the joke, just to show them. Like, look, there are people that are a lot smarter than y'all. You guys like this band? This song is called Digital. How apropos. Don't worry, I got you too, baby. I got you too. I know I'm in the fast lane. Curtis is probably the only one that killed himself that maybe I should look further into that. Maybe that didn't happen either. But his music is a strong indicator that it did. But then again, it's kind of weird because, you know, Factory Records was embezzling money, and you know, just that right there is kind of suspicious. Like, maybe Ian Curtis didn't actually kill himself. Maybe he just didn't want to get a bunch of shit stolen from him. You know? A lot of the time when somebody ends up committing suicide or they overdose, you know, it has to do with money. That person's worth money. That band is worth money. Assets, shit like that. That's why it doesn't make sense to me to be famous, because there's just so much that they can take from you. You know, the more you make, the more they take, and the more they can tell you what to do, the more they can tell you all the things that you can't say, all the things you can't talk about. Especially, you know, if you start working for some record company, they pretty much own your ass. They can tell you what your next record's gonna be about. I mean, look at fucking Lady Gaga. I mean, she's totally controlled. You want to prove they're controlled? Just watch their concerts. Watch, like, Beyonce. They do all kinds of Freemason symbols and shit. You know, George Carlin, he talked about this. George Carlin talked about this. Bill Hicks talked about this. I mean, I don't know why people would want that. I don't know why you'd want all these people to know about you. It's like they're inspired by a lie. So if they listen to your music, that's not really music that you want to put out. That's music that you're forced to put out. You know? I just think about all these motherfuckers that are really talented. I mean, Beyonce has talent, Lady Gaga has talent. But it's like, because they're so controlled. I mean, I shouldn't be concerned about them at all. I don't give a fuck about it. But I'm just saying that they're not able to do what they're actually capable of. They can't do anything but work for the communist machine. So it's like that's the way that I look at the whole system. You know, like you're gonna have to work for the communist machine at some point if you subject yourself to it. You won't be able to make fun of Jews. You won't be able to talk about how people are gonna burn in hell. You know? And that sucks. Why would you want somebody else to control your art? Why would you want that? But I guess a lot of these people, they're not real artists anyway, so it's like they're just in it for the fame, they're in it for the money or whatever. Well, yours truly is not, okay? So if anything happens with me, I want to say that, well, I fucking worked for that shit. I earned my damn crown. I didn't just suck somebody's dick and get drunk with a booking agent and make them feel real important, you know? Because I think a lot of people do that. It really is all in who you know. It is good to network, though. You know, there were a bunch of people last night. They were like, you know, if you guys ever want to perform at this venue or whatever, like, we got you. Somebody tried to tell me yesterday they could get something going on at the fucking Exit Inn, which is crazy. Like, it's really hard to get a gig over there. That's mainly a music venue. It's off Ellison Place in Nashville. But yeah, some major bands have performed there. I've seen comics there too. I think I saw Brian Hussein there one time. And Patton Oswalt. That was a while ago. But maybe they're just desperate for acts to come out because, you know, this is such a weird time right now, especially for art. But I'm thinking, you know, it might actually be the best time for somebody like me. Because I don't give a fuck. You know, I just say and do whatever I want. And it seems like everybody else is way too skittish to be like me. And so when you're one of a kind, you might really be able to thrive, you know, in an era of, you know, total sheep and, you know, a bunch of fucking talentless hacks. People that, it's like they're basing their success off of everybody else's carbon copy, you know? And I think it's really hard for people to be authentic right now because everybody's doing the same thing. You know, I'm not doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. So it would be pretty much impossible for me to not be good at what I do because I'm doing something that's just totally different. But I know I could be cocky about that, but I really don't. I don't take that for granted, you know? Let's see what time it is. Am I actually on time? No fucking way. 3 minutes late. That's pretty early for me. But, yeah, I mean, like, if you're not using the internet the same way that everybody else is using it, if you're not on Facebook and Instagram and all that shit, it's like people think that you're a dead person, you know? And I mean, that's fine, because I'm very alive and well in my own life, but because I'm not like active on the internet the same way that all these other fucking dweebs are, you know, like none of them are the slightest bit interesting, and yet they think that because they have a fucking social media handle, that's gonna get them somewhere. You know, if you don't have talent, you don't have talent. It doesn't matter like how much you're on social media, because even if you get something out of that, even if, you know, you end up getting famous or something, that still doesn't mean you have talent. That just means that you got a nice picture. Like, people just don't see it the way that it truly is. Like, everybody's idea of success is totally flawed. You need to have success in your own personal life. You know, little things that you do every day. I think that the problem with social media a lot more so than not, is this validation, you know? Like, people want to be validated through it. And that's why it's so addictive. You know, it's completely changing the way that we see ourselves. It's not just changing the way that we see others, it's changing the way we see ourselves. Like, this is a fucking problem. And I'm not gonna just like go along with that shit because I want to be famous and shit. Well, I don't want to be famous anyway, but smell that, it's so good. It smells amazing. I mean, if I'm gonna do anything like that, somebody else is gonna have to do it for me because I just fucking hate it. I don't want to subject myself to that. But I still want people to hear my message. And I feel like the only way that they can is through fucking TikTok, which just makes me sick to my stomach, but I really want to make my parents proud of me, though. That's like all I care about at this point. And that'd be really cool if like something happened and then I could be like, hey, I'm finally financially stable. Like that would just be awesome if that would happen. But you know, if it doesn't, it doesn't. I know that they're proud of me just for, you know, not drinking for 10 years. You know, I told my dad this last night. I was like, you know, sometimes I think that the only way that I can be responsible is just not do certain things. And he agreed with that.